Okay then, here we go for the 10 billionth time. Oops, great start. Oh dear. 1 2/3. 3 2 drop. We haven't had a win yet. There we are. 3 2. It is. Oh, 1 2. And that's exactly the way it's supposed to be. Textbook. Don't like that much though. Double for the loss. What happened there? Oh, there we go. 2 3/3. 5 3 drop. 5 3 it is. 8 6. 2 3. Oh, 5 6. 11 12. This is a turnaround or runaway deal. 11 12. Well, that worked out, didn't it? I think that's 2 3/3 now. 5 3 drop. Trying to beat us up here, aren't they? 6 3. 6 3 it is. Uh-oh. 9 6. Okay. 15, well, let's call it 15 20 third. That did not go well. So that is 6 2 drop, but we're running away. And on the one side we have plus 2525, on the other side minus 25,000, because we're doing the whole gagging thing. So I think it is actually sensible to try and demonstrate it as well as I can. Okay, should the next one be, well, okay, another table, same buy-in. 6 2 drop, so the drop is 1,000. Bugger. 7 2. Oh, yeah, 8 2. No, yeah, 8 2. 9 2. Come on. Okay, so now we're on 8 2. Now we're on 10 4. This is not going well. Okay. 14 8. Is that a double down? I struggle with those, you know. No, it's not. Damn it. 22.8. Okay, so plus 9,000 minus 25,000. 22.8, and we're dropping again, and we're running away, but we're going to raise the buy-in. $22.8, so the drop has to be 5,000. Oh, it's clever. 22, so that's 17.8. All right, so that's 9.10. I'm not sure that's right. Oh, well, I suppose it's right, yeah. 9.10, which is 19/22. Okay, so we're out here plus 123, and then we're minus 100,000 over there, so we've got markers of 150,000, and we've got 123, 131, 151. That's not good enough. So I'm going to throw in another 5. I'm not going to run away yet, because we got 29,000, 151,525. No, 152,000. Which gives us plus 2525, which for all of that effort I don't think is good enough. So we'll go a 5er. And now we've got to go a 10er, so that's... Oh boy. Okay. I have reason to regret this now, don't I? So that's 5, 10, 15, 25... 25, 30, third. That was a little lucky. Okay, so now we have 128. So okay, so now we're ahead 7,525 in 8 minutes. So I don't think that's too shabby. So I'm going to come out of this. I'm going to go to another table because we've only just started this shoe. So we're at 7,525 ahead, and we're starting at a new table. I say, why isn't it doing it? Why isn't it doing it? Alright, sorry about that. Back at the minimum. That's all a bit odd. It's all gone a bit funky. Double for the loss. One, two, third. Another cheeky one. Minimum. I'm not sure, was that a push or a win? I'm not actually sure about that. I'm going to just call it a win. That's a repeat. That's 2, 3, third. 5, 3, drop. 6-3, 7-3, 8-3, 8-3 it is. 11-6. Oh God, no, we're not going to run away again, are we? 11-6, 5-6. Oh boy, look at that. 5-6, which is going to be 17-20. Third. Just enough. Minimum. +1. +1. +1. Repeat it. Okay. Minimum. +1. +1. Repeat. Which would be 2-3 third. 5-3 drop. I've got another one. 5-3 it is. 1, 2, 3. But it wasn't worth more money. 2-3. 5-6. Another one? Alright, we'll take it. Plus. Oh dear. That's 51 second. 2-3 third. 5-3 drop. 6-3. 7-3. 8-3. 9-3. Stop it already. 10-3. 10-3. 11-3. Come on. It's just silly. 12-3. 14-3. Good grief. Finally, 14-3. This is not good. 17-6. Going to be running away again. 23-25 third. Alright, so we came out of that goodly. Keep adding one. Doing well so far, that's the max. Do that again. Ouch, repeated. So that would be 3-4 third. Alright, well, take it. +1. Double. +1. Do it again. Try it again because we lost that one. Oh right, so 3, 4, third. Maybe. Yep. Okay. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. That was very clever. That was not so clever. Okay. 1, 2, second. Oh, look at that. Damn it. I should think so after that last hand. Good grief. Plus 51 second. Another fluky one. Repeat it. That's a double. Okay. So that's 2, 3 second. So that's 8, 10 third. Bloody ace got in the way there, didn't it? 8, 10. So we'll run away from this one with 100 and plus 100. I'm going to call that 738. And then we're minus 100,000 for the marker over there. And we must be at 4.5, 2 and dropping. Okay, so the drop is 1,000. That's a good start. So that's 3, 2 is the next one. So that's 5, 4 second. Now it's got to be 5, 6 for the tie. Oh dear. Okay. So now we're on, well, I think we better call it 11:15. Ouch. So 26.30, we're running away from this one now. Oh dear, oh dear. Plus 78, 500, minus 100,000 over there. So that's got to be 24, 25, is that right? Drop. Okay, so 24, so that's 19, 20 for the turnaround. Oh, nice try. 20, 19, 20, 39, 40. This is really nasty. Okay. 39, 40. So that's 80, 90, but I can't do that here. So we're plus 45,000 and minus 100,000. Because the trouble is, once we reach that maximum, life gets tough. Did I say 80, 90? I think I might have done. I think I've only got one bet left in me, haven't I? Ah! Okay, I think I'm going to give up with this one, simply because it's late at night, and I might continue it tomorrow. Nasty. What am I looking at? I'm looking at plus 10,000 and minus 100,000. Oh, I think I can't give it up because it's too complicated. That's a help. So we've got 150,000 here. See, now I'm not sure about this. I think I have to bet the 100 again. It took me out. Okay, got to do it again. Okay, well, I'm going to have to dob in for a double down here. So we're going to call that a double down. And I think that wraps me up because that puts me there with 300,000. So I think I'm going to have to play this back to work it out, and then I'll add on a little bit to explain what happened. But anyway, I think we're out. This is actually 300,000 over here. So I'm going to have to run through it tomorrow and give you a total. But anyway, it was nasty, but the point is that as long as you've got a huge amount of money behind you and a strategy, you can beat all these games. But in this particular case, if we were in Las Vegas, we'd have had to move around quite a bit, you know, to go from sort of like the low end to the highest end. And the logistics of it are complex, but not insurmountable. And that's what's kind of exciting about this, because as long as you keep your cool and as long as you've got the money behind you, then you can prevail, and it's really not that hard. but it is complicated in the sense that you certainly can't do it all in one place, because that just isn't, that ain't going to happen. And it can't be just one person unless they've got lots of disguises and incredible talent at makeup and stuff like that. You know, it's got to be a group of people who basically are on standby, so that as the bets get higher and higher and higher, then, you know, the standby people above the sort of like the treadwater level have got to be sort of just ready to step in. And of course they'll be busy a lot of the time anyway, because there will be plenty of catch-ups and turnarounds that they have to do from several different sessions. So it's all absolutely doable, but it's just like you know, the kind of thing that they do with stocks and shares. It's got to be measured, calculated, tactical, consistent, and according to a strategy which is completely understood by everybody. Interesting though. I mean, that was definitely a turnaround right there. So, you know, I'll just have to get the details. And if it turns out that it wasn't a turnaround, then I'll just have to play it off until it is a turnaround. But I think we've ended up with about 30 grand profit in less than half an hour. So that's not too bad. But of course, the high rollers, you know, who have the money to place $100,000 bets and so on, they expect to make 50, 60,000 every half hour. So that's the difference. And that's of course why they consistently lose, because they're greedy. Anyway, see you next time. Alright, so bit of a cock up all around really. I've discovered I put everything from that awful last WizBJ session over onto Excel, and have discovered that I'm 9,000 in the hole still. So what I'm figuring is that it was half an hour's worth of play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bet 50,000 and just play on from there. Now, on second thoughts, I'm going to bet 25,000 and see what happens. Not so good. So now we bet 50. All right. So that's not good either, because we now need to bet 100, and I can't do that here. So I've got to crash out of this. This is what happens when you tilt. But I figure I've got an obligation to show the rough with the smooth, you know, so... Okay. Unlike a lot of these guys on... Okay. So now we have to bet 100. Okay. So I think that does it for us. It's only 14,000 profit, but let's be sensible about this. It's half an hour of play. So, I mean, especially after watching Mr. Handpay, and more weirdly, what's his face, the mad Canadian, Cody Burnett, I sort of figure, well, okay, I got to 100,000, but and the worst of it is that over there on the model with the algorithm playing perfectly, or as perfectly as I can make it, certainly better than I do. It does fine. It does just great. It just, you know, I mean, it does. It's on about I don't know. Certainly not in the tens of thousands, but a very decent win. So anyway, I'll stop waffling now, and I'll just enter the rest of this in the record, and then bring all that together in a rather embarrassing, but nonetheless I think essential, worst case scenario example. See you later. Okie dokie. So here we are with the the horrible and somewhat embarrassing truth laid out in numbers format, a little easier to perhaps get a grip on than just watching endless monster bets. It does at least make a very useful comparison between the way that I played during the course of the demo and the way that the algorithm plays. And obviously there's not supposed to be a difference, but one of the most important differences is that the algorithm doesn't make mistakes, the algorithm doesn't screw up the way that I do, the way that you will, unless of course you're an absolute genius or a perfect person, and I'm not sure there are too many of those out there. One of them is running for president right now, I know, but generally speaking, geniuses and perfect people are very hard to come by. But something I want to stress, not for the first time, is that when I put these things up onto the Practice Makes Profit channel, I'm not saying to anybody, you must bet this way, I expect you to bet this way. What I'm trying to get across is that if you don't bet this way, you will lose your money. So you have to make a distinction between what is entertaining and exciting and thrilling and engaging, and what is work, what is business, what is a cold sort of clinical look at these games that the casinos offer. And remember, the casinos expect everybody to be out for thrills and spills and excitement and fireworks and all that kind of stuff. And they provide free booze so that people will become even more stupid than they were when they first walked in the door. And that was pretty stupid to start with, let's face it. We're all stupid if we think that we can go up to any of these games and make any money in the long term. We may get a short-term burst of luck, but in the long run, forget it. It's not going to happen. So just to sort of like summarize here, we've got the battle against the Wizard of Odds that you can see in the videos that preceded this, or the demo. It's broken. There's actually only one of them, but it was interrupted. Me battling the Wizard of Odds online, as I put it up there, and the final win was just shy of 16,000, and it's 1.3% of an enormous overall action of 1.2 million. On the other hand, the algorithm, the double or drop rules applied by the algorithm, not by me, also hit some high levels, some high bets, because we had things like, this bit here, where 3 losses in a row, then just 1 win, then 7 losses in a row and just 1 win, and then 3 losses in a row, and finally 2 wins in a row, and boom, that turned us around. Now this little bit here, just here, demonstrates very effectively, I think, that if you don't keep pounding away with progressive betting, then you will lose. I despair when I see some of these guys get into the hole, or get into a deep hole on YouTube in their little sort of like exciting little sort of I don't know, shows, I suppose you might call them, and then they hit a winning streak and they do nothing. They just keep on betting the same amount. What you have to do is you have to look at a winning streak as an opportunity to turn things around, and that is what pattern betting is all about. Here you see a contrast. You've got a total action of 83,000 against 1.2 million. You've got a total win of 6.7 thousand, so 6,700, and that's 8.1% of the total action here. Whereas here, a win of 16,000 is 1.3% of total action. You'll see over here that the algorithm, Algy as I've started calling it, which actually sounds a bit like green scum, but never mind. Algy manages 165%, average win of 891 and average loss of 541. There were 50 wins and 70 losses in this particular battle, which was really, really shitty, and which I wouldn't have stuck around for, I don't believe. But that's neither here nor there. What we're seeing is, the light blue here is the horror story that was that battle against the Wizard of Odds by me, and then there's this rather different story, the dark green line, winning less but not risking nearly as much. The risk down here is shown quite clearly. It's 20,000 for the algorithm for Algy, and it's what is that, 210,000 for me tilting online. Down here is the is the win-loss pattern. And what else can I show you? Let's go down to the next level. I did hit some high spots during the course of this. You could see the light green horizontal lines on left and right, much more consistent for the algorithm, somewhat spotty for me, because I think that basically what I was doing was kind of not exactly losing track, and I think I've been a bit unfair here actually, because what should happen is that you know, once you reach a high spot like this and then drop to a low bet, then that means that is a turnaround. So that's not quite fair. I'll have to fix that the next time I do one of these. It is a little bit misleading, but the most important thing is that every time you see one of these green horizontal lines, what it's saying is that you know, you have reached a new high, and that's what's important. Let's go down a bit longer. I mean, look at this. This was an absolute horror story again. You know, we had these long, I mean, 12 consecutive losses. I wouldn't have stuck around for 12 consecutive losses. Bloody hell, you know. But you know, you come out eventually. Here, the algorithm is just so much more sedate and calm and sensible. So I don't know what happened to me with this other thing, but it was a bloody nightmare. Another thing, of course, that we're reminded of here is that the isolated win is your enemy. There is no doubt about that. You know, you get in this situation here where, you know, you win and then you have more losses, and then one win and then more losses, one win, more losses. But in the end, you come out of it, and that's here is the last. You know, the last bit of this whole horrible session. You know, you can see that finally we came out of it 16 grand ahead. Here it was much more, as I said, much more sedate, much more kind of like easy going. The chart here shows, I mean, look at these losing streaks. I mean, bloody hell, huge. But it's the kind of thing that only progressive betting, pattern betting in particular, can overcome. And the casinos know full well that progressive betting is their worst enemy, and this is why everybody working for them or acting as a mouthpiece for them in exchange for gifts, free meals, free whatever, valuable player points and all that shit, you know, all of them are required to go through the motions and to attack the stupidity, the sheer madness, the folly of progressive betting, and they're told to do that. They may not even understand why they're doing it, but the reason that they're doing it is because progressive betting is the only way to beat these games, and the casinos know that even better than I do, and I'm pretty damn sort of sold on the whole idea. Here we've got a relatively, because of those huge losing streaks, we've got a relatively unimpressive performance by the doubledown, which is my version of the martingale. And let's take away the 25 there for a sec and see what that does. Yeah, see, it drops quite considerably. I've got to set it back to so I'll put that back, and you can see the difference just by putting in this one little thing that the casinos never talk about with the martingale. If you win your first bet when you're playing the martingale or something similar, add a unit. Alexa, stop. That's very good advice, Alexa, but badly timed. I can't turn her off because I can't live without her, you know what I mean? She's the woman in my life these days. What was I saying? Oh yes, you know, if you play a martingale the way the casinos tell you, you will play a martingale if you're stupid enough to do it. you just, if you have an opening win, you just repeat. Well, that doesn't work. What you need to do is add a unit after an opening win, add another unit after a second win, blah blah blah, you know. And I don't think we had very many winning streaks. We had one here. Okay, so we go 25, 50, 75, 100, lose the 100, repeat it. Okay, so you know, you come out here having won back the lost hundy there, and then you've got a profit for that very, very short burst there of 150. Whereas what would happen if you were playing a routine martingale would be that you would have 50 and then you would start over. That's not good enough. It's just not good enough. What are we looking at here? We're looking at, you know, sort of obviously the double down does fine. Not quite as good as yeah, it's at its best right now, which is what this is what you get with progressive betting, is that, you know, you get to a new high, then you fall back to a minimum bet, and then you start over. It's a discrete, it's a separate battle. What's behind you is forgotten. The money's in front of you, so it's not completely forgotten. But then you start over, back to a minimum bet, start another battle, and stick with it for as long as it lasts. And here is a more dramatic graphic of the horrible situation that we faced in this particular set, and we came out alive. So that's, you know, that's the main thing. But anyway, end of story. You know, as I say, I feel obligated to put up the worst case scenarios, along with the easy wins that are depicted in almost all of the demos that I put up on the Practice Makes Profit channel. And you know, people can take it or leave it, ignore it or not. I really don't care. But I think that, you know, if I can just do my little bit to make people understand that if you go into a casino with just a little bit of money, and a little bit basically means anything less than 100 grand, you know, you're going to lose it. You are going to lose it. And you watch any of these channels, I think a lot of them are cherry picking. I'm sorry to have to say that, but I've abandoned doing anything with Brandon O'Brien's interactions with his various games, his on board at sea sessions, and his stake sessions, because I think that the indications are that he's cherry picking. He's making too much money. The same applies to Jason Bulkey, Mr. HP, Mr. Handpay. He's winning too much. The way that he plays, there's just no way. But you know, I mean, I'm not saying that I have evidence of this. I'm not impugning them exactly. Maybe I am a bit, but I think they have a tendency to think of themselves as showmen, and I think they also recognise that the casinos would not cooperate with them if they weren't promoting the idea that gambling can be profitable. And you know, they would not be welcome in casinos if they were constantly saying to people, hey, I'm showing you what you should not do. You know, I don't think that would go down very well. And I don't think there's a single so-called professional gambler out there on YouTube, any of the gambling channels, who would happily take on demonstrating progressive betting in general, and doing it fairly and properly without sneering like that arsehole Greg, what's his face. You know, it's sort of like, it's ridiculous the way that they it's so blatant, it's so transparent. You know, most of these guys, Greg in particular, are they're fairground barkers. They're standing at the entrance to the tent saying, come on in, have fun, you know, see the ladies dance, whatever. I remember once being in Amsterdam with a couple who were my best friends, and Jenny, not my Jenny, but another Jenny. She was really gorgeous, and the guy comes rushing up to us and he says, you come in for nothing, you come in for free if the lady dances. And so Jenny turns to me and she says, what do you think? I said, no, I don't think so. And Nick says, yeah, they'll have to kill me first. So there we are. But anyway, it was all good-natured and all the rest of it, but it was like typical of the Amsterdam scene, and it probably hasn't changed much in the last 50 years, but there we are. And yes, I knew that Jenny with an IE before I knew the wonderful Jenny I married, Jenny with a Y. Anyway, that's all irrelevant stuff, so I'll go now, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.